Ready, sir.
Yes,
It's
thank you.
already being recorded.
So, and please show the slide. So we are now in the sixth meeting, and it means that one more meeting, and we will have uh, mid test, mid semester examination, because it usually held on the eighth meeting.
Excuse me, sir. Your voice is not clearly.
Hello, hello, test, test, test. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, but not clearly.
Oh, what should I do? Okay, okay. I cannot change into. Wait, wait, wait. I use another laptop today, so let me try first. Wait. Let me use earphone. Perhaps it will help. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello.
This one having crack, sir.
Hello, 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 hello. It's not working. It's not working. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, okay. I replace my headset and you hear me better. Okay, can we start?
Yes.
Okay, first of all, I'm sorry I cannot uh, show my video because I'm not in a formal dress, and I hope it will not disturbing. So today we will discuss um, about the relationship of philosophy and political science. Yes, next slide. Next slide, Hafiz. Hello, hello. Yeah, thank you. Political philosophy is the study of developing ideas and institutions. It try to explain the understanding of how humans are throughout of the age, shaping and implementing political and social aspirations. Okay, for everybody and Fitinan, perhaps you can get a better understanding in bahasa. You may read my diktat. You may read my diktat. You can ask from Hafiz, right? I have it distribute uh, last week, if I'm not mistaken, right? The diktat. The diktat is in bahasa.
Sure, no.
Okay. Oh, the slide is gone. Ah, however, political philosophy is also something more than an analysis of theories of past politics. Uh, the political philosophy try to find universal principles that underlie phenomena of politics in all of its historical situation. So please don't make it hard. Please don't make it hard. It's just introduction and connection between a philosophy and uh, politics. Don't make it too hard. Because if you want to study the politics itself, uh, you have to change your major. Because if you want to study the politics, even last time when I was in my campus at first time, my S1, my undergraduate degree, to study the basic of politics, need one subject. One subject means one semester of a lesson, and it it was just the basic. So if you want to know more about politics, you must change your major, not economy Islam, but the politics itself. It is a very short time to trying to understand the politics in just in one meeting. So don't take it so hard and let's make it easier. Okay. Okay. Next. In doing this study seeks to achieve a better understanding of contemporary politics from both ethical and causal perspective. You know why? Why? Because the politics itself sometimes people have idealism. Uh, People have idealism in politics, but sometimes people become, practical, or in the language of philosophy, we call it pragmatis, pragmatic, pragmatic, the pragmatic person. What is pragmatic person? Pragmatic person is anything to take to become the winner in politics, and he is selling his idealism to get anything in politics. Uh, the most important is to be win, just like that. For example, political study is not limited to the problem of analysis of the institution and the ways of these institutions function. Uh, where is it? Okay. Behind this institution, what are the political institutions? Oh, a lot, a lot. We have the nation itself. We have the legislative board. We have many things, and we will see it later. Behind these institutions are values and goals, political goals that it looks for designed by politics. As in terms of ethics, it is basically about science and an order in which human nature can arrive at its utmost perfection. To be ideal, to be ideal. Political philosophy, or tracking political behavior and phenomena within an ethical framework, is a part integral to political studies. So in learning the political studies, we will try to boost understanding the idealism and also the pragmatism. But just like what I have said before, that it is a very short time to learning about politics in just in a meeting. Okay. Next, at this point in this chapter, we will explore various components related to political philosophy. How to understand political philosophy, the significance, legitimacy, democratic discourse, religion, and the conclusion and the discourse of democracy. And sometimes modern people is very fond, is very worship and makes the democracy is everything. And if you learn the history, people are traumatic with uh, the dictatorship of monarchy political system. But sometimes, if you read a lot, if you watch a lot, if you learn a lot, the surrounding, our environment of our political environment in every nation, it is not always that the democratic country is better, in people welfare than the monarchy country. Uh, Sometimes the monarchy country is better than the democratic. Let's see, for example, in British or English. They are very good, and the people is happy watching their king and queen. Or our neighbor, we have Brunei Darussalam. Brunei Darussalam uh, with their kingdom is a very prosper country. The country can give the people welfare. Even if you hear a lot that people in Brunei Darussalam, if they have no job, the country will give them money because they are very rich. Okay, and there is still many of uh, monarchy political system in this world, and they are fine, no problem, and even sometimes is better than the democratic one. Okay, let's continue. The word philosophy comes from the Greek. Okay, philo means loss, and sophia means wisdom. So simply, when we form the original meaning of the word philosophy means love of wisdom. However, the etymological definition of love and wisdom is not sufficient to represent the breadth of the meaning of philosophy. In the past, every knowledge or science related to logos and reason humans is generally referred to philosophy. What is logos? You may find it in the classical thinker. They believe in logos, or in today's uh, today's scientific knowledge, we call it logy, like technology, hydrology, etc. Meanwhile, philosophy of science is a branch of philosophy in charge of philosophizing the sciences or certain scientific discipline. Okay, in bahasa we call it memfilosofikan ilmu. Philosophizing the sciences. The philosophy of science is a philosophical reflection to the nature of science, the origin of science, which will not recognize a stopping point in the direction of the large target to be achieved. What is it? What is it? The target? The target is truth, truth and reality. Okay, we have discussed it from the past meeting, where the science is a which which has certain conditions, and so it can be called science. What is it, the conditions? For example, it must be universal, must be logic, must be empiric, and it must be tested by hypothesis. Okay, let's continue. Understanding the philosophy of science means understanding the in and out of science in terms of the most basic basic joint to be understood from scientific perspective is possible is possibly a development interrelationship of knowledge with one another, the relation between knowledge and knowledge. This statement shows that through the philosophical endeavor of science, one can review the basic and the depth of science. Okay, so again, I must tell you that don't make it so hard. To be remember, and I always tell you this again and again, so you are not become frustrated, become stressed with this lesson. In simple way, in this lesson of philosophy of science, you just need to remember three basic things, which is ontology, epistemology, and axiology. That's all. That's all. That is the most important things you must remember in this lesson. Okay. For anything else is something to make you richer in mind. In mind. Okay, just like what I told you before that I give you dictates. You may read books and you can browsing and everything, but sometimes uh, the important thing is uh, comes from my speech from the lecture. Okay, so you must always pay attention to be success in mid test. Okay, but don't worry, don't worry. I never make difficult questions. And you know that I always give tests to my students in open book. I rarely and very seldom to give a mid test in closed book. Because you know what? Because I hate to remember when I in study in undergraduate, in a master degree, in a doctoral degree. I hate so much to remember, and it is not so good to remember all of things. You don't need to remember. You can read. You can study. The most important thing is understanding. Why you remember something but you don't understand? That is not a logic. The most important thing is the understanding itself, not remembering. So that's why usually in the test of the university, in mid test or a final test, the question is not just like please. So what is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this? No, but the question asks you analyze, to understanding more, and to give your own opinion, and to become the university student, you must have your own opinion based on the theory, based on the books, and based on the references. And so, in a university student, if you still watching your side and cheating, it is not the style of university student. You must have your own decision. You must have your own answer. Okay. So where we now? Where we are now? Okay, okay. to the essence. The study of political philosophy was born from the branch of practical philosophy. The political philosophy is the study of moral judgment and criticism on the process underlying social, political, and life, and also economy, which aims to direct the creation of a good and appropriate community organization. So, the economy is also containing politics, So, sometimes it is called uh, the political economy. So actually, the political economy is, people is fight each other to get profit. Uh, we in the nation, the country also have decisions that affecting a very large of people economy, just like the regulation of omnibus law, for example. It is very affecting the all the society, affecting the economic life of people. Uh, so so the economy is also containing politics. Okay. The politics is the process of forming and distributing power in society, which among other things is tangible decision process, particularly within countries. Uh, usually, usually, if we learn about politics, the scope, the scope of the politics is uh, the scope is in one country usually for general, but sometimes we learn uh, in smaller area. For example, we also know about the office politics, or let's say the student politics, right? The student politics in how to become the head of BEM, let's say the executive board of students, for example. And but usually, if we study about politics, we talk about in a nation, we talk about country. This definition is an amalgamation effort between the various different definitions of the nature of politics, known in political science. Politics has always been concerned the goals of the whole society and not one's personal goals. So the goals of the majority, the goals of the people of the nation. Politics, too, concerning the activities of various groups, including political parties and individual activities. Okay, to have your to have your voice heard by the leader of the country, uh, the way is you must join political parties in democratic country. Okay. Next slide. In general understanding, uh, political science is a branch of social science. So we are now learning about social science. Let's discuss regarding political theory and practice as well as an overview and analyze the political system and political behavior. The political science studies the allocation and transfer of power. How to transfer of power, just like we see in our own nation, how usually it happens in uh, the son of the leader then become the leader to, for example, the son of the president want to become the leader of some area, for example. Even it is called democratic, sometimes the monarchy system still happen, right? Or in the village, sometimes today the leader is uh, Mr. X. Then the next time the leader is his own wife, for example. Sometimes it happens even in the democratic country, just like Indonesia. Political science studies the allocation of transfer of power in decision making, roles and government system, which also include government and international organizations, political behavior and policy. Public policy, right? Who decides the public policy? Of course, the government and the government and the DPR in Indonesia. What is DPR? The Council of what is it in English? The Parliament. The Parliament. Political science measures the success of governance and specific policies by conducting checks from a variety of factors such as stability of justice, material welfare, and peace. Eh, So what is it? The stability of justice, material welfare, and peace usually is a goal. Is a goal for every uh, political uh, of the nation goals. Uh, there is no country that uh, want to have war. Let's war. Let's war. Let's war. Oh, but sometimes it happens, right? Just like we heard that one country you know, give weapon to another country to help him against something. For example, uh, America want to have uh, oil from Middle East, for example. Then he help one part of the country to fight one another to get what it wants. Okay, next. From several scientists who seek to develop political science in a positive way, political analysis, while others develop normatively by making specific policy advice. Political learning is complicated. Complicated by the greatest deep political scientists. Don't be stressful. Even the writer said that political learning is complicated. Because their teaching usually provides the framework in which choosing other commentators such as journalists, particular interest group, politicians, and election participants. General election usually we call it in bahasa pemilihan umum. General to analyze problems and make choices. Political scientists play a role as advisor to certain politicians or as politicians itself. Political scientists are often seen work in government, in political parties, or provide public service. They work on NGO or political movement in various capacities. People who are educated and trained in political science can provide added value, donate his expertise to the company or to the country. For example, usually, I say the example of the political journalists. We have a lot in Indonesia. For example, Najwa Shihab, right? Or we have Refli Harun, or we have Rocky Gerung, or in the inner circle, or in the inner circle of the government. Let's say we have the most controversial, Ngabalin, or we have Abu Janda, or we have who else? And the pro one of government. And to be the scientist, we must play fair. We must play fair and become neutral. To be scientist. Okay, next. In addition to understanding political science in general, there are several opinions of experts regarding understanding of political science. Miriam Budiarjo. This is the book of this Professor Miriam Budiarjo is used in my undergraduate era, in my S1 degree last time. The book, The Basic of Philosophy, by Professor Miriam Budiarjo. According to Professor Miriam Budiarjo, the meaning of political science is the study of politics. Politics is defined as effort to achieve a good life. Greek philosophies like Plato and Aristotle call it as eudaimonia, or the good life. Professor Deliar Noor. Understanding political science according to Professor Deliar Noor. In the introductory book of Political Talk, political science focus on the problem of power in life, together or society. According to Sri Sumantri, Sri Sumantri said that political science is institutionalization of human relations which are institutionalized uh, in a what is it? Institutionalized in a variety political bodies, both the political superstructure and the political infrastructure. Let's say what is the superstructure politic? Let's say DPR or the government itself. The political infrastructure, for example, political party or a general election. Okay, next. Yes, next slide, please. According to Ramlan Surbakti, the political science, according to Ramlan Surbakti, is the interaction between the government and the community in the framework of the manufacturing and implementation process and binding decisions about the common good of people who live in a specific region. What is specific region? For example, in one country, on one nation. Kosasi. According to Kosasi Jahiri, political science is seeing power as the core of politics, gives birth to a number of theories about how acquire and exercise power. Actually, every individual cannot be separated from power, according to Kosasi, because it affects a person or group or people who can show behavior as desired by someone or party who influence it. Next, from Idrus Afandi. According to Idrus Afandi, the meaning of political science is a knowledge, study, a collection of humans who live regularly and have the same purpose in state ties. Uh, Meaning people who live in one country. Okay, according to Idrus Afan. Yes, next. The elements that are treated as the main political concept used to view the elements of other. What is it? The element. Number one, the state. The state. What is the state? The state is an organization in a region that has the highest power, legitimate and obeyed by the people. Power, the ability of a person or group to influence the behavior or other groups according to the wishes of the perpetrator. So the power means in this study is the political power. The political power. Usually, sometimes we see somebody is very popular but has no power in politics. But sometimes We see somebody is very strong in politics, but not so famous. Okay, let's see. Number two, decision making. A decision is making a choice among several alternatives. Decision making is referred to the process that occurs up to the decision happen. So who takes the decision? The government. The government must be have agreement with DPR in Indonesia, with the parliament. But you know, sometimes the government and the DPR, sometimes people say that they play dirty. They play dirty. Mm. Actually, the parliament or the DPR function is to control the power of government. Actually, so the power of the government is not excessive, not too powerful. But sometimes the government and the parliament have agreement. So the function of the parliament is not well uh, actuated. General wisdom. Wisdom is a collection of decisions taken by a political actor or group in effort to choose goal and method to achieve this goal. Distribution or allocation, division and allotment of values in society. Okay, next. The scope of political science can be divided into several parts, including political philosophy. Political philosophy is a relatively abstract political science approach speak on the philosophical plane of political activity. This approach examines why a country is formed, what is the purpose of a country, who is worthy of where the ideal position of the ruler with rule to allude to the issue of political moral. In a non-political philosophy approach, we have four classical, medieval, enlightenment, and radical. Number two from the scope of political science. Number two is political science. Number one, political philosophy. Number two, political science. Okay, let's see what is political science. Next slide. Okay, political science. Political theory is a systematic discussion and generalization of political theory is speculative as far as he is concerned. Norms. Political theory can to be descriptive or comparative or based on logic. In other words, political theory is the discussion of an reflection on the goals of political activity. The ways to achieve that goal, the resulting possibilities and needs by the particular political situation, and the resulting obligations by political goals. Okay, if you feel to be confused or not understand, you can read the dictates in Bahasa version. Okay, although sometimes it also a little hard to understand. It's okay. It's okay. It needs time. It needs time. But for let's make it simple. Let's make it simple. We just learn about what is politics and the connection between politics and philosophy. Why we learn politics? Why we learn politics in the philosophy of science? Because the economy. We learn about the science, and the science is economy, Islamic economic, and the economy is containing politics. Containing politics, the economy. So we must learn about politics also. Okay. Next, political science. We have political institution. What is it? In the Indonesia adopted the system of politics. We call it. We have three big bodies, which is executive, legislative, and judicative. Uh, uh, please find it by yourself. It is one of the political system divided into three: legislative, executive, judicative. What is it in Indonesia? Legislative, DPR, MPR, executive, uh, presiden and his minister, and government. Judicative is the bodies uh, who supporting the law in Indonesia. We call it MA, Mahkamah Agung. Constitution. What is Constitution of Indonesia? We have UUD 45. In different country has different constitution. What is the constitution of Thailand? I don't know. You can ask Kitinan. National government, and we have local and local government. Local government. The smaller government. Or let's say in Indonesia we have kabupaten, we have provinsi, or kota madya, state administration, the implementation of the economic and social function of government, comparison of government and political institution. Okay, next. Party. We have parties, political parties. We have faction. We have public opinion, groups and association, citizen participation in government and administration, and general income. Part D. international relation, international politics, international organization. Let's say United Nation or PBB in bahasa, or we have also IMF to borrow money and another else. Or we have OIC, OIC in English, Organization of Islamic Countries. Next, political science ontology. Okay, political science ontology. The state organization is an area that has the highest power, which is legitimate and obeyed by the people. What is ontology? Actually, we will learn it in another meeting just for ontology. So, in simple way, the ontology is the essence of something. Okay, the ontology of political science: state, power, decision making, general policy, and distribution. What is it? We will study it one by one. The power is the ability of a person or group to influence behavior. Okay. Decision making. Make choice between several alternatives. General policy. General policy in public policy in politics is public policy. Collection of decision taken by government or actor or political group. Uh, Distribution value is the value is something that is considered good or right. The value in bahasa we call it nilai. Something that is desirable, something valuable. The decision and rationing of the value in society is often uneven and because it causes conflict. What is it? For example, the poverty cause conflict. Why? The poverty in economy is the effect of economical disparity, which is somebody is too rich and a lot of people is too poor. Uh, that is one big problem the government must answer. Okay, next. The scope of political science in political philosophy, according to another opinion. Political philosophy is a political science approach that is relatively abstract, abstract because it speaks on the philosophical plane. The scope is political ethics. What is political ethics? Political ethics is a moral philosophy about the political dimension of human life, a branch of philosophy that deals with the principle of political morality. In other words, political ethics is moral principle in action in politics. Political ethics can also interpreted as morality, manner, or politeness. In bahasa we call it kesopanan in political association. In practice, political ethics demands all claims to the right to organize society. accounted for on basic moral principle. For that, political ethics is trying to helping people. Okay. Uh, we will talk later about ideology. What is ideology? Uh, ideology is not religion. Ideology is usually concerned with usually concerned with uh,
Vision. Vision maybe.
what
Vision.
what is it?
Pandangan.
Oh, yes, it can be. So ideology is, let's say in Indonesia we have Pancasila as ideology, or in America they have liberalism ideology. In Korea Utara, North Korea, they have uh, communism as ideology. So usually the ideology is the scope of ideology is in one country usually. Okay, next. Part B, political logic. Political logic, the logic of politics. There is no explanation in this slide. Okay, so let's say that the political logic is uh, how to get power. How to get power. Uh, the political aesthetic. What is it? When intellectual and professional become political actor who investing their policies always based on idea. Political aesthetic, the idea of strengthening existing social alliances. Aesthetic means, uh, in bahasa we call it keindahan. Sometimes people to get power sometimes become rude and cruel and evil, and it is not beautiful. Sometimes in we call it usually we call it in bahasa kudeta. Kudeta. Actually, it comes from French, if I'm not mistaken. The French coup d'état, or the opposite of the government want to rule the power by heart, by war, or let's say. It is called coup d'état. Uh, it is not beautiful, not aesthetic. Political secularism. Political secularism. What is it? This secular law need does not hit halal and fair with secular laws apart from haram stipulated by Sharia. As a result, laws and various human interests that governs the people. If secular politics is implemented, it will become a vehicle to gain higher power, more property, or access business. It doesn't matter if the people are oppressed. That is what makes the door to tyranny. According to the writer, he doesn't agree about secularism. What is secularism? It looks like I have told you last time, right? the separation between religion to uh, human life aspect. In this case, the separation between religion and politics. If we learn about science, the philosophy of science, secularism means the separation between religion and science. Start from the bad history of Galileo Galilei, right? Just like I have told you last time. I hope you still remember. Okay. Next, religious politics. Religious politics. What is it? So the leader used the power of religious. For example, Madam Khafifah, he used the religious power. Why? Because she is from Muslimat NU, which has a lot of people East Java, in East Java province. So he she gains the political of religious uh, people. Political rhetoric is a form of delivering political message in the form of political speeches. What is rhetoric? Rhetoric is how to teach. In simple way, I can say that rhetoric is how to teach. Rhetoric. Sometimes in bahasa we can make the pertanyaan retorika. What is it? The rhetoric question. The rhetoric question is usually used by the speaker, uh, to ask people, but actually he doesn't need answer. For example, let's do demonstration. Do you like if the government always oppress us? Uh, do you like if the government cannot give us prosperity? For example, that is the rhetoric question. Actually, the speaker don't need answer. Actually, the speaker don't need answer from the people. It just us to give spirit, give spirit uh, to the public. Islamic politics carried out by the state and the people. And while the Ummah oversees the state in this arrangement, Islamic politics means arrangement for the affairs of the Ummah uh, at home and abroad with Islamic law. Okay, Islamic politics. Yes, next. The relationship between philosophy and political science. Another science which is closely related to political science is philosophy. Philosophy is an attempt to rationally and systematically seek solutions or answers to problems. Political science is especially close to political philosophy. Okay. Discuss political issues based on certain value system and norms. Okay. So it has the close connection. between philosophy and politics. Uh, Next, Gramsci. Gramsci said that true philosophy is not a branch of study which is isolated, but contains in itself all the fundamental elements need to construct a conception of a total and integral world, and all things needed to realize an integral political community. According to Gramsci. Therefore, Gramsci politics direct him to philosophy, and its philosophy is entirely political. In other words, Gramsci saw philosophy as political education and politics as an arena for applying philosophical knowledge. So the Gramsci see a very big connection between philosophy and politics. Yes, next. Based on the explanation of the explanation regarding to the relationship between philosophy and science, it can be concluded that the link between politics and political sense and sense of other social knowledge is very close, and influence each other. Social science approach is very, what is it? Is very useful for political analysis. Okay, next. This one I take it from Wikipedia, and it is a very, very, Wikipedia is uh, quite complete. I like it. I like it. Wikipedia. But if you want to make, scientific writing or scientific article, sometimes the lecture doesn't accept Wikipedia or Blogspot or another WordPress, etc. Sometimes you must read the original book and the journal. But for teaching and for your information, I think it is okay to use Wikipedia. Okay, let's see. What is it about? The influential of political philosophers. Thomas Aquinas. Thomas Aquinas is he is well known for the Christian theology, teaching treatise on law. Aristoteles. Michael Bakunin, Jeremy Bentham, Isaiah Berlin. Oh, I will underline. I will underline some names that, in my opinion, you need to pay a lot attention. Let's say Aristoteles and Bentham. Why Bentham is important? Bentham makes the philosophy of utilitarian. What is it? The utilitarian is teach you to maximize satisfaction. It is used in the study of economy. Uh, And although in Islamic ways, uh, to maximize profit is the utilitarianism is against, according to some experts, is different with Islamic view. In Islamic view, we use the term of maximization of maslahah, not utility. Uh, you can learn it later in the study of Islamic microeconomy. Yes, please, next slide. Edmund Burke, Noam Chomsky, Confucius, John Dewey. Okay. Uh, right. Skip. Skip. There is nobody of these people talking about economy. Let's see the next. Han Feizi, Foucault, Gramsci, the last time we learned, right? Gramsci and Jürgen Habermas. This one, Jürgen Habermas, who is it? Contemporary democratic theorists and sociologists has pioneered such concepts as the public sphere, communicative action, and deliberative democracy. His early work heavily influenced by the Frankfurt School. The Habermas is very famous that he is in the left side. Okay, I must tell you about the left side and the right side in Politica. In simple way, we see the political movement in two big area. We have the right wings, and also called the conservative, is usually liberalism and using religion uh, in their way of politics. The left side is adopting the thinking of Marxism. The thinking of Marxism. What is this Marxism? Marxism is the idea of Karl Marx, the father of communism. So you must read a lot about the history of communism to understand the idea of Karl Marx. Karl Marx is having idea that in the last time the bourgeois people is the rich one, the capitalist, is killing the poor people, or in Karl Marx language, it is called proletar. Bourgeois versus proletar. Or in bahasa, we call it the proletar is kaum buruh. The worker. So the idea of capitalism, the idea of communism, Karl Marx have a dream that someday there will be a country which has no fight of between bourgeois and proletar. Karl Marx have an idea that someday there will be a country which all of the people live in the same welfare. There is no rich and there is no poor. Everybody is the same. So that is the idea of uh, socialism, communism. Is there any country like that? Yes. Let's say in the last time we can see the Republic of the People Republic of China, or for now we have the North Korea, who is adopting the communism. Uh, okay, so that is the history of communism. What's the difference with Islam? It's different. It's different. Why? Because in Islam, people can be rich and people can be poor. It is sunnatullah. It is God willing. But we must fight the poverty. We must fight the poverty. Why? Islam teach like zakat, infak, sedekah, wakaf to eliminate the poverty. But the rich and the poor itself is God willing, is sunnatullah. It is impossible to eliminate the rich and the poor. And if we read in Al-Quran, why God people create rich guy and create the poor one to help one another. To help one another. If you can imagine, if everybody is rich, there is no poor people, there will be no worker. Just like we see in the rich country, for example in Malaysia, in Arabic country, which has a lot of money, everybody is rich. Then nobody want to do simple work. For example, my house has a lot of grass. My house has a lot of grass, and the grass is very long. I need somebody to cut it. And then you ask your neighbor, "Hello, my neighbor, can you help me to cut my grass?" Then the neighbor said, "Oh, come on. You asked me to help you? I am rich person. You must be mistaken. I'm rich person. You can tell me to do something like that." This is for example. If everybody rich, there will be no worker. So in rich country like Arabic countries and Malaysia or Brunei, for example, they importing worker from another country because their neighbor don't want to help another neighbor. They are rich. Everybody rich. Everybody is rich. That's the example. So the rich and the poor is sunnatullah, is God willing. But in Islam we need to, in the disparity. The gap between rich and the poor must be low, must be low. How to make it low? By zakat, infak, sedekah, and wakaf also. But in a communist country, there is no rich and poor. Everybody is the same, and everybody is belong to the country. Last time I heard that the baby born in a communist country, if the baby was born in a communist country, suddenly it becomes the property of the nation. The baby is the property of the nation, not belong to his father and mother. It is the property of the nation, and it will be used as the power of the nation to become army. Every baby must become army in the communist society. That is the story I have ever heard about communism. So that is the big ideas. The big ideas is the political movement in this world has two sides: the right wing and the left wing. Even in political movement of student in Indonesia, there is also the left wing and the right wing. For example, the right wing we have in bahasa we have Himpunan Mahasiswa Islam, or we have Kesatuan Aksi Mahasiswa Islam, or we have PMII from Nahdlatul Ulama, or etc. And in the left wing, you can say KMNI, and also the let's say last time we have Partai Rakyat Demokratik by Budiman Sujatmiko, who is left movement. And you must understand that the left side or the left movement in every country, it doesn't mean that the left movement is atheist, is always atheist. No, not always, not always. Sometimes they still have religion, but they believe the ideology of Marxism. They believe the ideology of that everybody must be the same, just like what the ideal of Karl Marx. Okay, so you can study a lot about this movement, the right movement and the left movement. Uh, and there is a lot of political thinker who is consists of from this left movement. Let's say uh, Karl Marx, Friedrich Nietzsche, and let or this one, the Habermas, and another thinker. Okay, the next you may read by yourself. Okay, the next you may read by yourself. I think the time is up. Do you have any question? Do you have any question? I hope you are not confused with this, right?
Yes, sir. So,
Okay, if there is no question or no question yet, You can ask later in uh, WhatsApp group, or if I have upload this video, you can ask in comment. Okay, so we will close this meeting, today's meeting. Please prepare for the next uh, meeting. Is the last meeting before midday. Okay, because this is the class of Islamic economic, we will close this meeting by doa akhir majelis. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika.
Asyhadu an la
La ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Thank you for your attention. Keep healthy. I'm sorry if I made mistake or unclear. And see you next week, insyaallah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Insyaallah.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
you're welcome.
Thank you.